I think some of the areas should just be concreted so that then it doesn't, because when you know, then you can come with the vehicle. We follow the same path every day. Yeah. So the boss decided to leave us and change the flight day. The guy will get a lift. Be ready to depart. Like I was telling somebody else.
With me and a good company, yeah. So this is going to be a good time to reflect, especially now during when we're exiting as government. Maybe it's time to meditate.
We've been experiencing fires in this area, and normally it happens when it is the dry season. What happens is communities tend to go out to the forest, and unfortunately they light fires, maybe to warm themselves at night, or sometimes to just extract honey in the mountain, and they forget. And because it's dry, the moss that sits in the forest lights up, and that's where we get these fires. So we have a program with the communities to educate them on not lighting fires, and if they have to light a fire, then they put it off completely. But then since COVID, we realized that the external visitor or the international visitor was not coming, because clearly there were no flights into Kenya. So as Kenya Wildlife Service, we actually sat down and mooted a plan on how we are going to get the local visitation to come over. And if you look and see how Zuru has worked, Zuru actually is primarily targeted to the domestic visitor, the local visitor. And by so doing, we have actually allowed Kenyans to come and see for themselves. And they now realize this is not something that the foreign visitor only does. They also can come over and enjoy the same thing. And you'll find that the rates are very reasonable, as most Kenyans were very surprised when they came and got the rates, and they were going, oh, it's only so much. We thought it was more expensive than this. It is possible for Kenyans to come and enjoy it, and we have seen huge numbers of Kenyans now enjoying tourism and their parks before we did, more than what we saw before COVID. So yes, one of the other things also I would love for Kenyans to know, and anybody out there in general, is that there's more animals living with communities than there are in national parks. Actually, 2/3 of the animals live with communities. They have been staying with communities all these years. So animals don't just live in the parks, they actually live with communities. Now, what we try to do is mitigate by getting people to understand how to live with animals. And I would like to coin and move away from what you asked, human-wildlife conflict. We see, and the program that we want to push forward is human-wildlife coexistence.
Well, domestic tourism is booming today because we have invested from 2008. We are among the very few countries in Africa who have invested in domestic tourism over 10 years ago. That's why we have benefited from domestic tourism. Otherwise, we have seen our neighbors and others have suffered, depending only on foreign tourism. We have been successful. And this will going to continue, because the industry will only be resilient if you have the support of the local community. And that's exactly what Kenyans have done to support us during the pandemic. First of all, 2019 was our best year. We collected almost 4.2 billion Kenya shillings revenue for KWS parks. Again, because of the pandemic, it dropped. Last year, we collected almost 1.5 billion Kenya shillings. We're optimistic as we continue promoting tourism. But yes, digital and also online clearance of park entry fees will help a big deal. We have started with the payment mode of M-Pesa, and now we are going to the proper digital, so you can get your tickets online. You don't have to queue at Kenya Wildlife Service park gates. So that project should be on anytime in June, July, and that will improve our revenue collection, plus also remove any gray areas in terms of pilferages at the gate. We are here to promote hiking and also health travel. We have done that Mount Longonot last weekend. We saw many Kenyans, young people, and all races. So we saw residencies, people from the embassies, we saw Kenyans, young and old, but that was exciting. Again, Mount Kenya National Park and climbing to the summit, 2019, which is our best year, was almost 26,000 people who have climbed the mountain. We want that number by 2030 to go double. So that is our target. We want to increase, but again, we want the experience to be better. Every feedback we have received, now this is an opportunity for us to improve on the customer feedback.